Let us start with the lecture. I hope I am audible to you and the screen is visible. Is it right? Because like we will screen दिसते का?
सर तुमचा आवाज बारीक येतोय.
बारीक आवाज येतोय.
Yes.
मगाशी येतो ना का मग?
हा मगाशी येत होता, आता बारीकच झाला.
Yes. Check कर.
तर आणि त्या लिंक वरती टायमिंग 9:30चं पडलंय.
असं झालंय.
हा ते मे बी मग ती सगळी 9:30ला जॉईन करतील.
Okay. Okay. The second type of minor irrigation work is Bandhara irrigation. So this Bandhara irrigation is more common in India, all over the India. In Bandhara irrigation system, Bandhara, that is a small obstruction, is constructed across the flow of water, and the water level in the river is raised. Water level is raised, and this raised water level is diverted to the canal, and water is supplied through the canal to the fields. So that is how the Bandhara irrigation works. So the capacity of Bandhara irrigation varies from few hectares to maximum up to 400 hectares. So it is having a limitation to irrigate the area, that is up to 400 hectares. Now, where this Bandhara irrigation scheme is implemented, the first thing is to find the location of Bandhara. Now, which points should be considered while selecting a location for Bandhara? So the first point is river should be perennial. Okay, what do you mean by perennial river? Perennial river is a river which supplies water throughout the year. That is called as the perennial river, or which the river which is having a permanent source of water like a glacier. Now Ganga river is originating from glacier, so the source is permanent. Opposite to that, the rivers in Maharashtra, they are originating in Sahyadrian ranges. And what is their source? Source is the rainfall. So when there is a monsoon season, then that water flows through the river. But on these rivers, most of the dams are constructed and the water is regulated through these dams. And that's why now these rivers are made perennial. But actually the rivers in our area are not perennial rivers. They are made perennial due to construction of dams in the upper reaches of the river. So as the dam is in dam, large water is stored. So as and when required, that water can be regulated to the downstream. So that's why these rivers are also considered as a perennial river. So Bandharas can be constructed on such rivers. Then what is Bandhara? Bandhara is a small barrier constructed across the river. Now this small barrier is generally constructed either in stone masonry or in reinforced cement concrete. So as it is, the construction material is having high density. That's why they are having a self-weight. So the foundation strata at a place should be strong enough to bear the weight of earth. Then the site which is selected for the Bandhara. So at that point, the river stretch should be straight. Then the river stretch should be narrow and well defined. So straight, you can understood the alignment is straight. Narrow means its width should be less at that point. where Bandhara is to be constructed. So if width of the river is less, then what is benefit of this? The length of Bandhara is less. Mute ठेवा स्वतःला. So we are talking about selecting site for Bandhara. So we are talking that the site should be straight, section of a river at a place should be straight, it should be narrow, and it should be well defined. Well defined means the stretch where Bandhara is to be constructed, it should be rocky. Okay, so that its shape will not change with respect to time. If it is a earthen, then in that case, it is not well defined. Its shape changes with the time. So that is important that shape at the site should be well defined. Then the off-taking canal should have good command area. So what is command area? It is a particular area to which water is to be supplied. That is the command area. So off-taking canal means what? The canal which is taking off water from the river. That is the off-taking canal. And that canal should have a good command. There is a term culturable command area. When we say the command area, then that command area may consist of agricultural land, industrial estate, Gauthan area. Okay, so all these things are possible. There may be a hill, there may be a valley. So out of this total command area, the area where actually the crops are grown or crops can be grown is called as the culturable command. And that's why next point is culturable command area available should be large and fertile. Okay, culturable command area means where the crops can be grown. Okay, it should be a farmland. It should be large and it should be fertile. Means it should have a good fertile value so that more yield can be taken from such a land. Next point is nature of bank on both sides of site should be high. Okay, why this is essential? So that the water level when it is raised in the river bank, that should not cross the river banks. So that's why what is the requirement? The nature of the bank on both sides should be high enough. Okay, so that the adjoining area will not go under submersion due to overburn. Next point is canal taking off should not interfere with important drainage of the country. Now this off-taking canal is planned, and when this off-taking canal alignment is selected, care should be taken that it should not cross the important drainage lines of the area. Because if it crosses the natural drainage lines of the area, then there is a need to construct a hydraulic structure which is called as a cross drainage and which increases the overall cost of the project. So these points should be considered while selecting location of Bandhara. See, this is a layout of Bandhara irrigation scheme. So what we can see across the river flow, there is a straight reach is shown. The Bandhara is constructed, and this Bandhara is what? It is a solid weir constructed with stone masonry or concrete. And here, scoring sluices are shown. Scoring sluices means what? These are the rectangular tunnels which are formed during the construction of Bandhara at the base of the Bandhara. And its purpose is to remove the silt deposited to the upstream side of the Bandhara. See, when such a solid obstruction is put across the flow of water in a river, that river carries a sediment and these sediments get deposited against the Bandhara. And due to that, the storage capacity of water in the river reduces. In order to remove this silt, remove these sediments, there is a provision of scoring sluices is made. And these scoring sluices are kept open so that the silt will flow out from the upstream side to the downstream. And when this bandhara is constructed, the water level is raised, and by making use of this raised water level, the water is diverted to the canal. So here we can see the off-taking canal, and the water is regulated through the head regulator. This head regulator is a hydraulic structure which regulates the flow of water from river to the canal as and when required. When this bandhara is constructed, not always the water is diverted from river to the. So as per the need of crops, the water is circulated to the canal through this head regulator. So this is the plan of Bandhara. Now see the cross section of Bandhara. So we can see the cross section of a Bandhara. It is a trapezoidal one. It is having a crest portion. The crest portion may be constructed with RCC slab, and the remaining Bandhara may be constructed with stone masonry. And it is having the upstream face and downstream face. Upstream face may be kept vertical, and downstream face is a slanting face with some suggested slope. Okay. So this is the layout and cross section of Bandhara irrigation system. Now, what are the advantages of Bandhara irrigation system? So this Bandhara irrigation system is having low initial cost. So there is a cost of construction of a short weir, and there is a cost of construction of canal and head regulator. Then conveyance losses are less. Now see, in case of major irrigation projects, the canal length is in several kilometers. So that's why the conveyance losses are more. Conveyance losses I have explained you yesterday. Conveyance losses are, these are the losses due to seepage of water through the canal, percolation of water through the canal. And second is evaporation loss. The percolation losses plus evaporation losses, that is called as the conveyance loss. So conveyance losses are less in Bandhara irrigation as the length of canal is comparatively very less. Comparatively means in comparison with the major irrigation system. And it is high duty and intense irrigation. So during our end semester examination, we have discussed about the term duty. So duty is what? Duty is the capacity of unit volume of irrigation water to irrigate the area. Means 1 cubic meter per second discharge if supplied through canal. So it can irrigate some hectares of it. So that some hectares may be uh, 500 hectares, 1000 hectares, etc. So that is called as a duty. So it is high duty. Second is disadvantages. What are the demerits or limitations of this? So in this Bandhara irrigation, very small quantity of water gets utilized, even if a large quantity of water is available in the river. In case of non-perennial river, supply of water becomes seasonal. If there are the non-perennial rivers, then seasonal supply is available. In case of non-perennial river, population on downstream side of river faces this scarcity of water during dry. In case of summer season, if this Bandhara is constructed, then the water is stored to the upstream side and there is no water to the down. So there is a threat to the downstream side population. They may face the scarcity of water in case of the summer season, that is dry season. The next point is the design of Bandhara. Okay, so these Bandharas are designed as a row dam. So the cross section of this Bandhara is trapezoidal one. So this cross section is checked for two conditions. Okay, the dams are designed for some conditions. Okay, the dams may fail due to several reasons. In that, one reason is sliding due to the horizontal water force. Second is the dam may fail. The dam may fail due to overturning of this particular dam. So overturning and sliding failure is possible. So on the same way, this Bandhara is designed. This Bandhara is designed for two conditions. One condition is when there is flow in the river. Okay, when there is a flow in the river, there will be a flux. A flux means the raised water level in the river on the upstream side. Hence, the section should be checked for differential hit. So, when this Bandhara is constructed, this Bandhara is an overflow type of structure. In percolation tank, we have discussed that urban embankment. That is a non-overflow type of structure. So, where water is not allowed to overflow the earthen embankment. But here, this Bandhara is an overflow type of structure. So there is a differential head. That head changes with time. So that is the first condition. Second is when there is no flow in the Weir, water will be up to the crest of the Bandhara. Second condition is that first condition is that there is flow in the river and there is a flux on the upstream side. Means water is flowing over the Bandhara. And second condition is that there is no flow in the Weir and water is up to the crest of the Bandhara. बंधाऱ्याच्या लेवलला water level आहे त्याच्या वरती नाही. That is the second condition. Okay, and there is no water on the downstream side. In the first case, there is a water on the downstream. So considering this particular loading, this cross section is checked for safety against sliding, safety against overturning. So that is the basics of the design of Bandhara. Along with that, the crest width is decided with respect to the formula root of h, where h is the height of Bandhara. So height of Bandhara is minimum 1.2 meter. Based on the discharge over Bandhara, we can find out the length of Bandhara. So discharge over Bandhara is formula is Q is equal to 1.7 into L into H raised to 3 by 2. Then the scoring sluices, which are the rectangular channels, they should have of size 1 meter by 1.2 meter, 1 meter wide and 1.2 meter depth. Such a rectangular tunnels are provided through this Bandhara section, and they are called as a scoring sluice. So they are called as a scoring sluices. Sluices means outlet, and it is a scoring sluices means they are removing the sediment. Okay, that's why they are called as scoring sluice. So this is how this Bandhara is designed. So this is all with Bandhara irrigation. Now, in this Bandhara irrigation system, the flood irrigation system is implemented. So you might have heard the word flood. Okay, so the word flood is a part of flood irrigation system. There is a term thal. Okay, thal is one term and flood is other term. So what is thal? Thal is the total irrigable area under Bandhara. That is called as a thal. And that thal consists of, thal means it is a culturable command area, and that culturable command area under this Bandhara irrigation scheme is divided into small blocks. That is called as a flood. So when the Bandhara irrigation is planned, okay, number of floods are considered, and it is instructed for the farmers to take a particular type of crop in a particular number of floods. Suppose there are 5 floods, then out of 5 floods, only 3 floods are allowed to take a sugar, and rest of the floods are not allowed to take sugar cane. They have to take other crops. So in order to optimize the use of water, this flood irrigation system is implemented. So many times based on this, the question is asked, what is flood irrigation system? Or explain flood irrigation system. So important point is you have to link this with Bandhara irrigation. You have to explain what is FEL, then you have to explain what is FUD, and in FUD, what are the restrictions over the farmer that we have to explain. So this is about FUD irrigation system. Now after the percolation tank and Bandhara irrigation, so next type of structure is the Kolhapur type Bandhara. Okay, it is called as a Kolhapur type Bandhara. It is a modification over Bandhara irrigation. Its name is Bandhara, but it is not a solid Bandhara. It is a gated Bandhara. Okay, so Kolhapur type Bandhara or Kolhapur type Weir, it is called as. So in short, it is called as a KT Weir. KT Weir is the invention of the irrigation department of Kolhapur. Based on the drawbacks of Bandhara irrigation, this KT Weir is invented. Now, what are the drawbacks of Bandhara irrigation? In Bandhara irrigation, if the Bandhara irrigation system is implemented in the upper reaches of river, for example, all the rivers in Kolhapur district are in the upper reaches, means they are just originated in Sahyadrian ranges. So if we see the sediment load of this river, then that sediment load is nothing but it is boulders. So large boulders the water carries, and that's why if solid bandharas are constructed, a lot of silt gets deposited behind the bandhara, and that is a problem for the implementation of bandhara irrigation. And that's why they have invented this modified version of bandhara that is called as the Kolhapur type Weir, KT Weir or Kolhapur type bandhara. So in the figure we can see such a Kolhapur type Weir. We can see that this weir consists of a it is a gated weir. It is not a solid weir. So the grooves are made in the masonry pillars in which the gates are fixed and this water is raised against these gates. So this is how the water level is raised in case of Kolhapur type weir. So what is the function of Kolhapur type weir? It is to raise the water level on upstream side so that water can be diverted to the canal either on one side or on both sides. So this is a fully open weir. It consists of number of piers. These piers may be constructed with stone masonry or concrete, and these piers are having side grooves for fixing the gates. Now, when these gates are wooden, they are called as the wooden needles. Okay, they are called as the wooden needle. And these needles are put across the piers for the required height to form a continuous weir. And the height can be changed by removing needles or putting the additional needles one above other. So needles are removed during the floods to avoid the rise of water on upstream. Now see, the working of KT weir is interesting. When the monsoon season starts, at that time, before commencement of monsoon season, all the needles are removed, all the gates are removed, and water is allowed to pass through these gates. There is no obstruction for the flow in monsoon. We know that in monsoon season, flood occurs, and this flood carries a lot of silt, lot of boulders along with it. And these boulders can pass easily as there is no obstruction now. But when the monsoon season is about to end, at the end of the September or at the beginning of October, now it is time to put the needles in place. Now it is time to fix the gates in the grooves of the pier. So in the month of September, now there is a flow of water in the river. So that is continuously available. And now these needles are lowered, they are placed in position, and now the water level is raised. So this is how the working of KT Weir takes place. Okay, in monsoon season, additional water is irrigation water is not essential. So at the end of monsoon season, the functioning of KT Weir starts. The same things are mentioned in this particular slide. So one more point is there. These KT Weirs can be uh, installed in sequence. Okay, there is a one KT Weir. So at the end of this particular project, another KT Weir can be constructed. So they can be used, they can be appear in sequence. Now this is a cross section of a KT Weir. One more additional benefit of KT Weir is this KT Weir joins both banks of the river. KT Weirचा महत्वाचा फायदा काय आहे की it joins both banks of the river. Water is not overflowing over the KT Weir. Okay, so along the KT Weir, road is provided. At the top, the roadway is provided, and which connects the both banks. So it improves the communication of the area. It improves the road network of the area. In Kolhapur district, there are hundreds of KTVs which are constructed across various rivers and at various places in the river. And they provides the additional roadways. So that is the important point. So in Bandhara irrigation system, water overflows over Bandhara. So there is a no roadway above the Bandhara. Okay. So which is possible in case of KTVA. So in this figure, we can see the roadway, then supporting structure, then the piers along with the grooves, and in the cross section, we can see the needle placed in the groove. So this case is expected in the answer of the KTVA. Okay, cross section and the side view, both cases are expected in the answer of the KTVA. Now, different types of gates are used for KTVR. In the figure, we can see the different gates used. Traditionally, the wooden gates were in use. Now, due to its maintenance problem, low life, the steel gates are in use. But these steel gates are found heavy. Okay, so it is difficult to fix the gates in position, and that's why they are not popular. After that, the fiber concrete gates are invented. And after that, in order to reduce the weight of the gate, the fiber reinforced plastic gates are used. But for all these gates, the problem is at the beginning of the monsoon season, these gates should be removed and again they are placed in position at the end of the monsoon season. So in order to overcome the drawback of this KTVR, new gates are invented, which are called as Godbole gates. So these Godbole gates are uh, fixed over a pivot and they are kept open whenever required, that is in case of monsoon season. And they can be kept closed in for the rest of the year. So these are the Godbole gates invented in order to overcome the drawback of previous all types of gates. Okay, so this is a sketch of KTVR. This is a photograph of KTVR, which is under construction. Okay. So with this, today we'll stop here because 5 minutes are left. In the next lecture, we will cover the last type of minor irrigation scheme, that is lift irrigation. Today we will stop here. Thanks for joining.